Have you ever felt just stuck on English tenses? Trust me, you are not alone. So today we are going to tackle one of the most important ones head-on, the present simple. And by the end of this, I promise you'll have the confidence to use it correctly every single time. Ready? Let's jump right in. Okay, first things first. Let's get right to the heart of the confusion. You see I work and you see I am working. They look so similar, right? And hey, in a lot of other languages, you might use the exact same phrase for both situations. But in English, that tiny little difference changes the entire meaning.
So what is the real difference? Well, I am working is all about what's happening right now, or maybe just for a temporary period. But today we are zeroing in on that other sentence, I work. That's the present simple, and it's what we use to talk about things that are generally true.
To really get this tense down, the number one most important thing is knowing when to use it. Seriously, it's less about memorizing grammar rules and more about understanding the context. So we're going to walk through the 5 key situations where the present simple is basically your go-to, your only real choice.
And here they are, your 5 big clues: permanent situations, routines, facts, schedules, and frequency. Think of these as your road signs. Whenever you find yourself talking about one of these 5 things, a little light should go off in your head that says, aha, present simple time. Let's break them down one by one. First up, we've got permanent situations. This is for things in your life that are, more or less always true. Now, that doesn't mean they can never change, but they are definitely long-term, like we live in New York, that's your home base, or he works at a bank, that's a steady job. Think about it for a second. What's a permanent situation in your own life? Okay, key number 2 is all about routines. We're talking about your daily habits, the things you do over and over again. I wake up at 7 o'clock, or I drink coffee every single morning, or I go for a run after work. Any of those repeated actions? Yep, they all use the present simple.
Our third key is for facts. This one's easy. It covers those big universal truths and scientific principles, things that are just plain true, no questions asked. The classic example? The sun rises in the east. It's a fact of nature. It's not going to change tomorrow. So it always uses the present simple. Key number 4 is a big one: schedules and timetables. Now you might be thinking, wait, a flight leaving later today is in the future, right? But here's the trick. Because it's part of a fixed schedule, we treat it like a routine. It's practically set in stone. So we say, our class starts at 9 o'clock, or the flight leaves at noon. The schedule is king here.
And our final key, number 5, is frequency. This is like a cheat code. Whenever you see words like always, often, sometimes, or never, it's a massive clue that you need the present simple. These words tell us how often something happens, which ties right back into that idea of routines we talked about.
Okay, so we've got the when completely covered. Now it's time to get into the how. Let's actually build some sentences. We're going to look at how to make positive statements, negative ones, and how to ask questions. And don't worry, once you see the pattern, you'll realize it's super simple and predictable.
Let's just look at this table for a second. See how for I, you, we, and they, the verb is just simple? It's work, don't work. Do you work? Easy. The only time anything changes, and this is the golden rule, is for he, she, and it. For a positive sentence, you just pop an S on the end. He works. And for negatives and questions, we bring in the helper does. And that's it. That's the whole pattern right there.
So what if you want to ask for more information? Like not just if you work, but where you work. It is so easy. You just take that question format we just learned, like do you work, and you just stick a question word like where, what, or when right at the very front. The rest of the sentence doesn't change at all. All right, you've totally got the when and the how down. Now it's time for the final polish. This next part is all about dodging those little common mistakes that so many people make. These are the pro tips that are going to make you sound so much more natural and accurate. So remember that little S we add for he, she, and it? Well, sometimes the spelling gets a little tricky. For most verbs, it's simple. Just add S, like cooks. But if the verb ends in a hissing sound, like S, SH, or CH, we add ES to make it easier to say. Think washes. And if a verb ends in a consonant and then a Y, like study, you change that Y to IES, studies. And of course, English just loves its exceptions. There are a few super common irregular verbs that you've just got to memorize. The big 3 are go, which becomes goes, do, which becomes does, and have, which becomes has.
They don't follow the rules, so just burn these into your brain.
Okay, let's play a little game of spot the mistake. First one, we likes to travel. Do you see the problem? That's right, that S rule is only for he, she, and it. For we, the verb just stays in its simple, base form. We like to travel. Perfect. Here's mistake number 2, and it's all about that spelling. She tries to save money. Remember that consonant plus Y rule we just talked about? The verb try ends in RY, so we gotta drop the Y and add IES. The correct way is, she tries. And finally, this is a really common one in questions. A missing word. Listen to this. What time you finish work? Now, you can probably understand what it means, but it's missing that crucial little helping verb. The correct question is, what time do you finish work? Don't ever forget your do or does.
And there you have it. Just like that, we've gone from that initial confusion to total clarity. You now have the 5 keys for when to use the present simple, and you have the patterns for how to build any kind of sentence you want. You are officially in control. So when we talk about mastering the present simple, what does that really mean? It's pretty simple. It's knowing which of those 5 situations you're in, and then being able to build your positive, negative, and question sentences without even really thinking about it. It's when the when and the how just come together automatically.
Look, the best way to make any of this stick is to use it immediately. So here's a final thought and a quick challenge for you. Answer this question. What is one thing you always do? Go ahead and say your answer out loud right now. Just by doing that, you're putting it all into practice and taking a huge step towards real mastery.